Right. Get your money.
He liked to blame me for that every time. He looked at me.
I do it every time too. I'll be forgetting.
Welcome to the show. It's your boy, the world class smartass.
Yes.
I'm in the building for another edition of Outlaw Radio. The People's Network presents Outlaw Radio. For Gen Xers, it's a very important platform because it is responsible for the transmission of information. Yes. Right? Mm-hmm. So we try to do and talk about the things that Black people should be concerned about. Very rarely are there conversations about Kardashians or anything of that nature. Nah. So put the women and children to bed. It's time to get it done. Outlaw Radio Chuuuch. On a Saturday night, you know our motto on Saturday nights, which is beverage.
Vitamin water.
That's what he said. I am not alone. I do have my co-host with me. What's going on, bro?
What's happening?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are we all here, man? No. We here, man.
Tell people who you are.
Yeah, Saturday edition. Again, I am Talk to Teach, Listen to Learn. Your true transfer engineer, man. We alive and well and ain't in jail. We still got a chance. That's important here in Milltown, right? You know what I mean? Because both of the prior can happen to you on any given evening. So
right.
Yeah, no, but that's what we here, man, to talk about it and learn and get wiser. Healthy, wealthy, wise, free, happy, and full of joy.
And I do have, like I say, it's a lot of cross training going on. This is a happy rap label. So I am Marley Marl. Right. So I do bring others who can work the microphone. Thus the presence of my brother, man. Tell people who you are.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's the Black woman's lover, the Black man's brother, the child leader, your hood healer.
Hey,
Mr. Kamar Carter, your holistic health and wellness coach.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, that's
what I'm talking about. That's what's up.
Who are you? Who are you? Who's the bald head? Well, which bald head? Kev's the only one with a fro. Welcome to the show. Hit like, hit share, hit follow. Please subscribe to our YouTube page. Please continue to show us the love you all have been showing us. We really appreciate it. I need my brother I need for him to get I need you to get your Facebook because I can't see the comments right now. So I'm working on some technical stuff over here.
Check it out. All right.
Shout out to the YouTube thing. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. My brother from another mother. Long time. Knew him a long time. Mm-hmm. And I can't, I want to tag my brother Kamar and all this. So if you see me looking at the screen, it's not just that I'm distracted. It is entirely.
Not this time.
Well, no, because I have to, I got to walk and chew gum at the same time. So if you want to hear the real about what's going on with Black people, Black men in particular, you have chosen the right show.
All right.
We are not here to disappoint. We're here to anoint. Right. So if you got something to say, if you're a Black business and you feel like you have something that you need represented or promoted, please hit us up.
Do that.
Just inbox me. Join the People's News Network. Shout out to 3041 North. Mr. Terry, an incredible Black businessman from the city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 414 stand up Northside, get it in. Mr. Terry is 414-810-3131. It's the old questions, and it's been owned by Mr. Terry for a very long time. So shout out to him. He's an incredible staunch supporter of the show. Mr. Dante Chestnut, DAMGENT.
Yeah,
KT Killing Them got a project out here right now, Among Rapper, that you need to get with, and that's straight from the mouth of the hip hop snob.
Check it out.
Right. So who else we got? We got Black Nurses Rock and Octavia Manuel. Right.
Shout out Octavia.
We got who else we got? We got my brother Kamar Carter over here with Nature's and the Turd.
Yes, sir.
414-949-2121. Some detox right here. Some vitality capsules.
Yes.
He has the fibroid buster. The kidney cleanse. So, like I said, man, get involved, man. Tell the people that you found something that's pertinent to us.
We love Black people who love Black people.
Right. And I even love some Black people that don't love Black people.
I don't.
I love them because they don't love themselves and they need mercy.
Well,
so it's Outlaw Radio Chuuuch on a Saturday night.
Uh-huh.
You want to know what that means? People say, why would you call the show that? Chuuuch. I didn't say church. I said Chuuuch.
And there's a different meaning. You broke it down real eloquently.
Well, in the streets, you got to have duality. And I tend to speak the language of the streets from time to time.
Right.
And I know that brothers have a different kind of language in which when we say Chuuuch, it makes something official. It's an affirmation. It's me saying this is serious. This is something to be held near and dear.
Real talk.
So I say Chuuuch. Now I don't say that because that's not my region slang, but I do understand when somebody else says it. But on a different level, what's up with the black church? It's 2020. Somebody needs to ask the question. Coming off of a situation where the Southern Baptist leadership convention, you know, they refused to stand against some white privilege, white supremacy kind of doctrine for Baptist people worldwide.
Right.
And I think it's very damning that you have so many black Baptists, and this went off without a hitch. Nobody said anything about it. And we talked about what was it? It was the laws of, what is it, Job? What is it? One that said we were cursed.
Ham.
The law of Ham. I'm sorry. The law of Ham, in which he said that supposedly biblically there's a theory that supports that we are supposed to be oppressed because of our color,
which is incorrect.
And we were inferior to white people, which if you know the time and period in which the Bible was actually executed, white people weren't even official.
No.
This is a Middle Eastern thing.
Especially when you're talking about being in Egypt and those sorts of things. White people tried to hijack that.
Yeah.
But no, all those people in the Bible, those names, they was your cousins. You know
yes, sir. Yes,
stop it.
So this is the kind of show where if you got feedback, if you have something to say, you can actually contribute.
Please.
We're live on YouTube as well. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, The People's Network. I know it's a lot of different arms to it. It's an octopi.
Well, we do that.
I know that, right? And you know, you have to be multifaceted.
These days,
you have to have muscle in your hustle. So we're gonna get it in tonight. We're gonna have some fun with talking about black spirituality, some of the traditions that have stuck to us, right? Who do you believe in? Right? What do you believe in? What governs your everyday behavior? What doctrine are you abiding by? Because in a lot of instances, and I think my brother and myself, Kamar Carter, please check us out on Wednesdays. When we do the Warrior Report, and we talked about the other night about the way the diet was explained to us, and it wasn't based on biology. So we learned about these food groups growing up in dairy and grain.
It's based on that triangle they showed us in school that was funded by the dairy. You know what I'm saying?
So now we understand that we have a different kind of unique biology that we need to adhere to. So oftentimes the things that they prescribe to us don't really help us with our conditions. This is why we've invested in the detox from nature's nature. You know, this is why we talk about the vitality capsules.
But when they presented to us, they presented that it's all the same.
Yeah.
Like we all humans, and this is what's helpful. But the fact of the matter is, what's helpful to the recessive is not helpful to the dominant.
Right.
You know, we coming, from two different directions. So some of the cures that they give is not cures for you. It's cures for them.
No doubt, man. So my brother Bull is here. He's our resident herbologist.
You tell us about it. Yes, sir.
Let's talk about this, man, before we dive into the subject. Before we get into Chuuuch, let's talk about your mission to try and tell people how to take care of the inside. Yes, sir. You know, because a lot of us do a good job at maintaining the outside, but we don't really even have a concept of what the inside should look like. So what is that like?
Well, that's a pretty heavy question right there. First of all, I'm gonna start by saying what I said last week. Right? It's just like when you putting your car together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we like a nice, pretty car.
You
know what I mean? The motor is shot. Well, a lot of us now, we'd go work out. So we got the nice big muscle. You know what I'm saying? We get the nice clothes, the shoes. We got our outside looking right. But you know what I mean? Our inside is a junkyard. Lungs black from the cigarette smoke. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's all bad. Blood thick and clumpy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It ain't like it's supposed to be. It's just like clumpy oil in the car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is what it looks like. This is the beginning stages of your illnesses, your different sicknesses. You know what I'm saying? Mucus builds up in different parts of your body.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes,
and where it builds up, you know what I mean? It creates different diseases. It could grow in your joints. You get arthritis. It grow in your lungs. You get bronchitis. You know, depending on where the mucus goes, you know what I'm saying, you get. So it's important to keep our body like you think.
Mind, body, and soul.
How to fix your body if something goes wrong, if you get sick, what to do. You know what I'm saying? They took this from us during slavery. We knew this.
Right.
We didn't have an extensive history of diseases before European contact. I need y'all to know.
That's real talk.
You know, you look around the world and it's different civilizations or different cultures, I should say, that they're not disease ridden like we are because they go off a mostly plant-based diet. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're us here. We are the most unhealthy race of people.
Absolutely.
Group, let's say group of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We are the most unhealthy groups of people here. And this is why we live in a culture that's not ours. You know what I'm saying? A lifestyle that's not a normal lifestyle for us. Like, for instance, we going to work for 9 hours a day. We missing all the sunlight. We're melanated people. We're supposed to be out in the sun.
Vitamin D.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't supposed to be slaving to somebody's building all day long.
In a cubicle, right?
This just ain't for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's, if we want to get right, we have to learn how to live right. Learn how to get back right. And all this stuff. You know, we eating stuff that ain't nutritious for our brain, so our brain ain't getting the right nutrition, so we making the bad decisions and all that. Mm-hmm. It's very important. And then, like I said, the spirit. We have to know how our spirit works. You know what I'm saying? First, we have to learn how to understand the energy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Energy is your spirit. So you got bad energy over here coming. You know what I mean? Your spirit gonna let you know because you feel uneasy. Mm-hmm. So whenever you get these uneasy feelings, you need to move around. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it's damaging to you. That uneasy feeling is a form of stress.
Yes, sir.
Also with the spirit, you know what I'm saying? We need to feed it the things that make us happy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like your passion. Find your passion. I like to tell all the young people, find your passion. Mm-hmm. Find your passion, brother, and then do that. Make your passion your business.
Your purpose in life is to find your purpose in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? And your purpose is your passion.
That's it.
And usually that deals with helping somebody. Your passion can't be things. It ain't going to be money. It ain't going to be cars. A lot of us like to associate the happiness with the different things we get, the job we got. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that. It's not that at all. Success really is about finding that inner happiness. Okay, I can be at peace when I don't have something, but I'm also at peace when I got it. I'm not worried about losing. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to everybody who's watching the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
People in the top chat. Not to cut you off, brother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because we're gonna continue that conversation. But I had a family reunion today, so I have a lot of family saying, no, I actually did. I went to the family reunion. I seen my people. You should be tagged, bro. You should be tagged. No, I did.
And they checking you in like, oh.
Yeah, my cousin. Right, yeah. Why you on the air?
Right, yeah, you did look.
No, I did that. The family is very important. Family is, because you have to know where you come from and whatnot. So shout out to cuz. Yeah, I did. I seen all of the people, even my people from Illinois and whatever. So shout out to the Barnes family for our 2019 family reunion. I knocked this down. It's 3041 North. Please don't get that twisted.
Hey,
but welcome to the show, man. My brother Kamar blessed us with some understanding about the reason why. And see, a very long time ago, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote a book called Eat to Live.
How to Eat to Live.
Right? Mm-hmm. This is in the 60s. Right? And at a time when just kind of differentiating from what we have been taught dietary-wise, it was not a common thing. So for brothers to say, no, I'm not going to eat pork, for a lot of black people was such an advanced concept. Mm-hmm. And Elijah Muhammad did a very good job in that book of articulating why we should move away from what they taught us. Because here's the way you have to think about it. If they told us how to eat, goddamn well there's some lies involved, because look at all the other lies that they told us. Mm-hmm. So let's stop trusting that at least their food groups were correct.
That pyramid that we learned about in high school. You know what I'm saying? Or not in high school, all through school.
All through school.
That pyramid,
it
wasn't done on our people.
Right.
That research wasn't done on our people. So that's not healthy for us. That's not good for us. We are a plant-based people. Mm-hmm. So we have to eat a mainly plant-based diet. Okay, you can eat a little meat, but let's go plant-based.
So it sounds like to me what you're saying is when they talk about we're all one and we're all people, that we're not.
No.
So
I would say this. We're all here together.
No.
So in that sense, yeah. But you know what I mean? We are made different. Cellularly, we are different.
Okay.
Well, there's a different biology for black people because both of you just talked about the presence of melanin, which is an entirely different kind of genetic makeup.
Right.
So you're dealing with people who absorb the energy from the sun.
Right.
As opposed to other people who get cancer from it.
Right.
So that tells you a lot about how we actually work. So when
and
you
it also sounds like we come from two different places as well.
Right.
So let's talk about the difference.
The mothership has landed.
Okay. So because it sounds like to me we trying not to say
something.
so.
Well, you know, you look at this, right? You look at this. The history of white people, they come from the mountains, right? The cave.
Caucasoid.
Exactly.
Yes,
they come from the cave. And,
and
we come from the vast land of Africa. You know what I'm saying? The great land of Africa. You got fruits growing off of trees, out the ground, vegetables everywhere. So if you're hungry, you know what I'm saying? You grab something off a tree or you pick something and eat it. You know what I mean? It's peaceful. You know, it's nothing about killing in it. You know what I mean? It's nothing about nothing bad. Now then you go to the Caucasus Mountains where the white people were, you know what I mean? They was in these caves. The food don't grow like that.
Talk about it, yeah.
So they had to eat whatever they could find, even each other probably. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Come look at them now.
Stop. I mean, where you think? Hey, check this out. Check this out. Where else would the idea of cannibalism come from?
Right.
You know what I mean? It had to happen somewhere to even have that idea. But then you look at the movies and they try to say that, okay, they show some black people in Africa stirring a big pot, talking about they cannibals and eating.
But you know damn well they was the only one that was doing
all I gotta do is pick something out the ground and start chewing on it.
So who was
got to go through all this?
Who was cooking slaves?
So you figure, okay, they was going. It's possibly millions of years of them living like this and us living like this.
I don't know if they're millions of years old, but
you get where I'm coming from.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So over time, you know, our bodies will adjust.
Right.
You know what I mean? We'll adapt. So their bodies are more adapt to other things than ours is.
Shout out to Master of Blackjack.
So yeah, we are.
So he's actually
okay. I just want somebody to say it, right? You know what I mean?
It's a new listener on the YouTube. Master of Blackjack. Welcome to the show, bro.
Welcome to the show.
Peace, brother.
He said, "What's up, homies?"
Yeah.
Actually, pre-Columbians didn't have immunities built up due to their lack of domesticated livestock.
Yes, sir.
Which is an historical fact. So shout out to that brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And shout out to Norwal Music. I don't know who this individual is on YouTube, but he actually really loves the show. And he's actually always complimenting me, like after the shows, he'll come and say, "Man,
brother,
you struck pure gold on this one," and that kind of thing.
That's
like,
what's up.
He really loves the show. And shout out to my cousin Kenneth Mallett in Mississippi. Westside Zeladon is in the building. Everybody hit like, hit share, hit follow.
Yeah,
tell a friend and tell a friend. It's the Saturday night edition of Outlaw Radio Chuuuch. We're going to talk about things that we hold near and dear culturally that maybe perhaps we shouldn't. I think bacon was one of the first things that we held so near and dear to our hearts for such a very long time.
Chitterlings.
The pork, period. The pig, because we ate the pig. You know, that's what you did. But we managed to take steps in which we kind of got away from that. And I see more black people. I see more black people right now trying to move towards a different kind of existence, because I think we figured out that everything we've been told is pretty much a lie.
Yes. Yeah.
And every understanding that we thought we had was a misunderstanding.
Right. We got to unlearn to relearn.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, they say, but they say
build
and destroy.
Learn, unlearn, relearn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You spoke it, right? That's real
So
talk.
y'all let us know what's on y'all mind. Let us know what's bothering y'all. This was a very interesting week.
Yeah.
To be a black person, which every week is very unique and is always a very good time. Don't look at me and see a black man and think that I'm walking around depressed. I love this shit. I wouldn't trade it for the world. If I had to come back again and be Kevin or Bill, I'd be Kevin.
All right.
I'm a proud man of color. But we seen this week with Trump, and the Trumpism has no limits. And he told her, go back where you came from. And this kind of put a spotlight on some of the crazy shit and some of the crazy stances that Trump has taken against sisters in government and whatnot, right? So, you know, there became a thing, and they've kind of assembled all the sisters that are senators or congressmen. and it's really a thing where Trump had a rally, and the white people were saying, send them back, send them back. Say on some shit like
and
that.
They said that, and then had the nerve to call them hateful anti-American lunatics. Right. I mean, if that ain't the pot in the kettle, right? You know what I'm saying? But it goes to show you, man, that somebody said while one of the Bushes went in office doing the whole, if you say something enough times, you can tell a lie enough times to where they believe it. It becomes true. Yeah. We've seen this happen from 9/11, right? You know what I'm saying? Anybody that challenged it, right? And you say the same thing long enough, it becomes the truth. But this fool, that's how they play with the words, man. And since they control all of the media, and we have no opportunity to control our own image, this is what happens. But the devil language is lies.
Mm-hmm. Well, Master of Blackjack. I keep saying Jack. Blackjack in the live chat. The
depends on what side of town you're from.
Right. Articulate, motherfucker. But he says that I bet you guys didn't know the virus went both ways. The first case of syphilis in Europe was in 1493 and ravaged Europe for 300 years, but people don't talk about that. I'm going to tell you why that's not really relevant to this conversation.
Okay.
Because I can give a shit less about what happened in Europe in 1493. I'm more concerned about what happened in the United States of America from the 40s all the way up into the late 70s, which was the Tuskegee experiments, in which you experimented on black men with syphilis. And who knows what damage you actually done via these kinds of biological experiments. Right. See, I don't have to go back that far. And I don't need to know about how they split a virus or whatever, or the plague and all that. There was no plague in Africa. Well, you know what hurt Africa? Colonialism.
Amen. Talk about it. Yeah.
So you can talk about Ebola and all that bullshit now.
Right.
But really, the first thing that affected Africa and resulted in multiple mass deaths was colonialism.
Yeah.
So
that was the plague.
It was the same thing with South America, in which Christopher Columbus and all these guys and all Ferdinand and all of them, they went down to South America. They went into the jungles. Really, the way they beat the people is because they brought diseases with them that just killed off the native people.
Absolutely. But I want to also remind this brother when he's going back into history and he's looking back that far, even in Europe, at one point in time, always looked like she looks now. So when you go back into the 1400s, before the Renaissance era, when they, the Dark Ages, that was because there was dark people in rule there. So check that out too.
So welcome to the show, brother, whoever you are.
Yes, sir.
He's new to the show.
Yes, sir.
I like to welcome people to the conversation because the conversation means there's more than one person talking. So if you watch the show, you say, well, Kev, you need to remember that sometimes because I swear you be talking to yourself sometimes. And you ain't lying because I do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Sometimes you got to talk to yourself to find your equal. And I believe in that. But
he does believe in that.
What you think about the sender back? Because I've heard you make some very interesting points throughout the time you've been on the show about the person who's telling us that if you don't like this, go back where you came from. Think about the source. The person who's saying this,
nigga, y'all gave us a ride. Give me a ride.
Well, no,
they wouldn't let you go.
They came from somewhere.
I know, I'm just talking shit.
Garvey wanted us to go. Right? He tried to get both together.
I think he was even actually raising money.
So you talk, these pink devils talk all that go back to Africa shit. When we try to
leave, they know better. I mean, the economy would be
because the whole game is played on our backs. Y'all need us. Stop it. Stop it.
Exactly.
If you went to
and we don't need y'all.
If you went to what was it today? The Ghetto Festival.
Garfield Days. I
So
wanted to go, man. But
the Ghetto Festival?
Man, look, I've been planning to go to make it to Garfield
God is still working with me.
Yeah, he is.
I've been planning to go to Garfield Days since the summer started.
All right.
And then today it just started raining. And
if you went, shout out to you. You a soldier.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. And because we go to Bastille Days, we go to Festa Italiano and Mexican Fest and all this kind of shit. I mean, then it rains on the Black Day and don't nobody go, and it's a lot of unsold corn and trinkets.
Well, we used to have an African World Festival too, right? You know what I'm saying? And an Afro Fest. So, if all things were equal, we would still have that to look for.
Well, we do have it's an African Arts Fest, they call it.
They did just have that. Yeah.
It's one coming. No, that was the African Cultural Fest.
Oh, it's another one coming.
It's another one in the beginning. It's another one in the beginning of August.
Right.
Well, it's cool because the next one we probably should do a live broadcast from the next one because I'm gonna be hosting a health demonstration.
Hey.
Well, we're gonna have this meeting on the air, but we're gonna talk about that, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, more to come. Right?
Tune in next week.
You just got a scoop.
That's what I said, man. Now he want to go solo, right? I got an opportunity to do a remix. He want to go record with Jam Master Jay, right?
Hey,
welcome to the show, man. I hope y'all feel good, man. Please, I can't say it enough. Go subscribe to the YouTube page. You understand the way messaging and communication works. What's the People's Network?
So if you go on YouTube, right, and you look at the numbers, you be like, these niggas ain't
Right. Well,
but if you go to our Instagram page and you go to the Facebook follow, like we, you know what I'm saying, we do our, so we just want y'all to just, involve the YouTube in what we are already doing even more.
Shout out to Gigolo Jackson, who he's gonna be on the show. I always shout him out.
Still watch us on Facebook.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
but subscribe on YouTube. Just go hit that button.
What he said.
Yeah, just go hit that button.
Yeah, it's all about support, man. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
And this platform is nothing if people don't listen to it. Like, even though I do actually love the sound of my own voice, like I talk to myself all, you okay? Right.
Wait, he answers too. He'd be like, no.
No, not today. My stomach hurt.
Listen, you should hear when the niggas start arguing. You know what I'm saying? I just leave the room.
Right. It's time for you to go there. Kev is having an argument with Kevin. They're two different people.
It's a win-win.
What do y'all think about Trump, though? Like, 2020 is coming, and this is a very crazy political time in America because, there used to be parameters to having a president.
Yeah.
A president was supposedly held to certain standards, and even within their representation, you think about it like this. You go all the way back to Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was FDR was looked at as one of the greatest presidents we've ever had. Led us out of the Great Depression, and actually, truth be told, had won a third term. He would have been a 3-term president. He had polio. He couldn't walk. A lot of times he was crippled. But the United States government decided we can never show the leader of the free world crippled.
We're doing it now.
Well, people don't, but this is a different time. I'm saying this is when the standards, you go through the Eisenhower presidency and you go through all of who the president's supposed to be. Obama had drama because he wore a brown suit one time. Michelle had her arms out one time. White people's heads were about to explode.
Her dress was too tight.
Right. Well, she has that huge posterior is just too big. I've never seen that much booty at a press conference.
But now we have a first lady that's a whore.
Right.
Openly.
Well, I don't know.
Right. She's a stop.
Playboy.
Stop. Let's not pretend we don't do politically correct here, right? Listen, she's posed nude. She's a damn.
I'm just saying,
she's a mail order bride. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't hit. So
Donald Trump embraces his daughter.
The views on this show
are solely those. And a motherfucker who said it know who to be mad at.
And shout out to my family that's watching, right? Because I know I got some people in my family like, ooh, really? That's what they doing. I did a joke about hitting Cicely Tyson one time. I've learned that just
but you doubled down on it the next time. You was like, you goddamn right.
That'll be it.
Go ahead.
Leave that boy alone.
Hey,
shout out to Young Mouth, man. but Brother Bull, when you see this kind of sentiment coming from, and white people don't get it twisted. Not you, but people who are listening. Trump is their voice. Trump is their muse. They are inspired by him. They give him so much credit for an economy that he didn't actually. First of all, he's only been in office a couple years now. He hasn't had the time or the legislation to kind of do some of the things he's been given credit for.
A hell of a lot of golf, though.
But, he owns golf courses. Somebody who owns a golf, it's like if you own a sandwich shop, you eat a lot of sandwiches.
But why do it got to take, cost the taxpayers millions of dollars for him to play goddamn golf?
So you as an individual who's on like the internal thing and like not necessarily inclined to really discuss the political shit. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying your focus is what it is. What do you think when you turn on that TV after eating a nice veggie burger and you see them saying, send her back, and the white people are so. Remember when he was during his election, black women were getting punched by old white dudes at his rallies and shit. Mm-hmm. And people say, well, he's not racist. Because they actually tried to impeach this dude. Al Green, who's a Democratic senator from Texas, tried to initiate some impeachment procedures. And they tried, and even Democrats said no, not for this. So what do you think about when you see these kinds of messages conveyed?
When I wake up, turn the news on, because Trump's always on there. First thing I think to myself, oh, here with this dumbass again. You know what I'm saying? What the hell did he do this time? Again, like I try not to focus on. He's only going to be around for a minute. You know what I mean? First of all, I think we need him. I think we need him to do all this stupid shit. Let's put this shit out in the air. You know what I mean? Let's let all the right people come on out the closet. We know who they is now. You know what I'm saying? And we can correctly go on. We can go on about our lives, working on ourselves. because really, like, how are we actually affected by the shit that he's saying? Like physically.
Besides the fact that he probably hurt your feelings.
Yeah, besides that. Like,
no, I think
that's it.
He empowered a lot of cowards. He empowered a lot of people that were scared to be racist.
I think when we indulge into a lot of the stuff that he say, us black people, well, even white people too. I mean, when we indulge into that, we are allowing this negative energy into us. You know what I'm saying? It's all bad energy, and that energy ain't good for us. So again, you know what I mean? I like the we just gonna let this dude do what the hell he gonna do, what's gonna happen for these couple years. Ain't nothing we can do about it.
Well, it's something we can do in 2020.
What can us three do?
Us three, not us three.
No. Here's the thing. I get what you're saying as far as the energy goes, but I don't think we can turn a blind eye to it, because I think then we're ignorant to what's going on. He's not just somebody that runs a corner store. Right. He has an important position. He can make some things move. Yeah. We need to pay attention when he's making it move, and why and for who.
Yeah, and see, a lot of the things that he's doing, you know what I mean? If we could change our perspective, we can work it to our advantage. Like, he's a businessman, right? So you got to understand that while he's in office, we probably don't know about it, but I will bet you that he's passing a lot of laws, passing a lot of bills or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That's why
that's good for the business.
That's why he never showed his tax return.
You know, exactly.
Absolutely.
So you know what I mean? I think if we could change our perception, you know what I mean, we start being the sellers and not the consumers so much. You know what I mean? We learn these laws, we can work it to our benefit.
For me, I understand what you're saying, and I totally agree. And I think the way to do that, and I don't think it's going to happen until we do it, is when we get our own party. We understand what's going on with the Republicans. We understand what's going on with the Democrats. None of them is for us. Our conditions never change, no matter which one of them was in office. So until we get our own party that's for us, by us, about us, and have our best interests,
I wish there was a way we can eradicate parties, period. And then that way, okay,
even better.
If you're going to vote, you know what I mean, we just vote for the best person for the job.
But then you don't have the discourse. Divide and conquer is when you get something all the way to the left and something all the way to the right, and you don't allow anything in the middle.
All about,
absolutely.
There, you know what I mean? That divide and conquer thing.
So that's why we need that third party, so a party that can have common sense, that don't have to get caught up in your partisan bullshit. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. That can be about the people. Because real right now, what you have is an illusion of choice.
Like, what if we had a president that was running, and you know what I mean? And you got a president that's running, but he's also teaching. Like, teaching us how we can do it.
He wouldn't make it. Do that. He wouldn't make it.
I mean,
remember what they did?
Okay, well, check this out. Hold on once. Check this out. Okay, you say he wouldn't make it. But now, if you got a president and a presidential elect that's running, he's also teaching us how to be better people, how to grow businesses, how to do this and how to do that. I don't know, man. I think a lot of people gonna vote for him. Like, he would get a lot of our votes. You know what I'm saying?
So,
it's teaching.
So when you say he was,
because it's a lot of stuff that we grow up and don't never even learn.
So when you say we and you say us, you're talking about black people, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So when you had Obama who was running for office,
he wasn't teaching shit.
Listen, and they made sure he did, and they made him disavow and disassociate himself with anybody that was his pastor, Farrakhan. He had to denounce these people, right? So
before he could get to a certain level.
So if he comes up and he's trying to teach, and you say us and we, and especially if he's talking to us and we trying to teach us something, he's not going to make it.
Well, see, then we got now here's another problem that we running into again. Another reason why I don't like to deal with this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
because it's just too much. It's too much to try to stop us. Like you say, okay, if he's doing that, they won't let us. But why can't I just run for president? I don't want to choose no party, but I'm gonna teach these people. I'm gonna use my opportunities when I get in front of the TV and the microphone to teach.
Because they have it set up for you not to be able to do that. That's what the system is.
Well, you got to understand that.
Exactly.
You write something, you got righteous
that's what I'm saying. Like, why even try to get off into it if we can only
because if we don't, then we just allow them to do it.
If you don't,
and then they go unchecked.
And if you don't get informed, you see, ignorance cannot be your excuse. And you have to know, you know, as they say, keep your enemies close, right? So you have to know that this system that we have in the United States of America and worldwide via colonialism, really, and that's what it is. Everything right now that's popping is actually an extension of England. You wonder why England still has a royal family.
Look how much money we send.
That's old money.
And you know, also,
but that's old money. So around the world, what you want to do, you want to take the western part of the world, and you want to make them uniform to what the East is, right? So the New World. So when you go overseas and you go to England, you say, yeah, but we're America. But what's Chuuuch to white people? Because a lot of the values that you have as an American are based on English values.
Absolutely.
They were norms that were enforced and integrated into who we are and how we thought and how we've moved about this country.
Yes, sir.
You think about the fact that speaking out against the powers that be has become something that will isolate you and ostracize you, as well as something that will make you the enemy of the people, right? It's that's something that they taught us. Because it's important that they had their revolution, that we didn't have ours. See, they only want to do revolution if it's their revolution.
Right. You know, and I could dig all that, right? But like I said, I think our focus still should be on what we have to do.
Right. Well, no doubt.
Like, cause see, okay, they doing all this, but we still have to pay the bills.
Right.
We still got to put food on our family's table.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, why shouldn't we just be focusing on what we need to do?
Well, no doubt, but
right
I think you got to be prepared. I don't think you can go.
Man, you know, remember we had this conversation. Right. Like I say, I think locally it matters. You know what I'm saying? But like when you start talking about the presidential stuff and everything, I really don't feel like we got to say so in it. Remember when they was saying Bush lost? Oh, now all of a sudden, now all of a sudden, Florida fucked up. No, he lost electoral votes or something, right?
Well, he won the electoral college. He did not win the popular vote.
And they were saying he wasn't going to be president.
Well, there was a threat to it, but we know whoever wins the electoral college wins the election.
Exactly,
it holds more weight.
But what I'm saying is, that year when he lost, they talking about they had to do a recount in Florida.
Hanging Chad,
like you say, the popular vote. But then the electoral college is how he gets in. Like, so I mean, to me, it's just a contrast.
Well, I'm a fan of the sweet science. I'm a fan of pugilism. I'm a fan of boxing, and I think the great fighters know their opponents. And I think when you look at the brilliance that was Muhammad Ali, is that where it seemed like there was no method, you know now that there was a method. Not only was there a method, there was artistry, because he knew his opponents and he picked up on traits and he picked up on things that they did, which were tells and these kinds of things that tipped him off, and it enabled him to be the fighter that he was. So that makes me think, in order to be a viable opponent, you have to know your opponent. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't go to war without logistics.
When the military gets information on the enemy, it's called intelligence.
Right now, we can't go to war.
Well, we can't, because we don't have enough information.
Nothing. We don't have enough.
And we don't have well, you got to start with information. They said my people are ruined for a lack of knowledge.
Destroyed.
Right. Yeah. My people are destroyed. So I'm saying Black people right now need to, because this is the thing. The way America formulates this is you have to make a choice. Either you understand civics in this country, or shut the fuck up, okay? So that means, as a citizen, I pay my taxes blindly. I don't actually understand who represents me. So if there's a pothole in front of my house on the street, especially in Milwaukee, I don't know who to call. But if you follow the money, who do you pay? Who's in charge of the Department of Public Works? The city of Milwaukee. The same people who you blindly wrote a check to for property taxes and didn't even ask, where does my tax money go? To be a good fighter understands that the majority of your tax money, especially property tax money, goes to the property tax levy, which powers most of our public services in this city.
Exactly, and that's why a lot of the streets in the Black community
are screwed up, because nobody's
getting paid.
You know what we're doing? We're looking at, well, we don't own it. We don't own. We're renting.
Right.
Like, because Black home ownership in Milwaukee
we got all
is low.
We got all this going on, but like, what do we do to change it?
This is what I'm telling you. This is where the transformation.
Complain about it.
This is where the transformation starts. If you understand civics, right?
That's not.
And you know that I have an alderman, right, who's responsible for my district. This is my direct representation to the city of Milwaukee, who controls the Department of the Public Works, who I send a check to. Yeah. So I call this dude, right? Say he blows me off. Fuck him. Drive on the street, nigga. It's whatever. But when you come to where I'm at for votes, when you come to my church, when I see you out in public, instead of being starstruck, I tell you, you're a piss poor representation of our community. And I've tried to reach out to you about several issues and you refuse to respond. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure you don't get elected again. Once you start doing that and holding those who are supposed to represent us accountable, there's a little bit of change.
Yeah, but
it's like you told me about the herb.
The people got to be with you too, though. With this,
but if they understood it, I think they go more.
And see, and that's why I say I can understand it on a local level. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, the whole presidential thing, that's bigger than us.
Well, it's not, because it's checks and balances. So you got a congressman, a state rep, and a senator.
I think if we talking about the local thing, what we need to do if we can get our people together to get our people to understand that we all got to vote the same way. So now we can have some power.
But we all have different interests. We can't vote the same.
It sounds like that third party.
Another issue. That's why I said.
But I wanted to make this correlation before I let my brother expand on this. Even on a national level, it's the same kind of thing if you understand civics, because you have a state representative, you have a senator and a congressman, you have the House of Representatives, you have checks and balances. You have to know how to use them. When white people want something done, they start a special interest group. And they go directly to those who write the legislation, i.e. the laws of the United States of America, the National Rifle Association, the LGBT
black people. We've been trying to do shit forever.
Well, we got a black caucus. But who knows who's in the? How many black people you know who knows in the black knows who is who in the black caucus?
My thing is, we've been doing this for years. It's been
who are the black people that you're talking about?
Well, I'm one of them.
No.
I like to think I'm
because let me tell you,
we've been doing this for generations, like fighting these laws and fighting this different stuff.
Have we fought the laws?
But then the black people that you're talking about fight the laws.
I haven't personally.
No. But then you have some additional black people that come and they just go and back the white people. The black Republicans, the black boule. Right? They just go and undermine anything that the black people is doing, and you can't call it racism because it's black people doing it. So what we have to understand is that everybody that's black ain't black. They ain't all us.
No doubt.
So the black people that go undermine what we're doing, they're not. We need to leave them behind. We need to separate ourselves from them. Any cause. I can dig that. We getting away from. No, we're not. From what I was. Well, maybe I asked it wrong. Okay, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Like what I'm saying is, like, I feel like there has been people fighting this forever, this whole system demonstration. You know what I mean? But ain't none of it's working.
Why?
You know, that's what I'm asking.
I've just told you.
What do we have to do?
Because of other black people. Because of black people that can't come and undermine black people. Anytime there's a black person that gets in power, they find another black person to bring them down. Am I wrong or right?
You're right.
So this is what we're talking about. For any cause and any revolution and any war, there are Benedictinos, there are traitors, there are ways and methods that you deal with these type of people. And we need to understand at some point, as black people, when we say we love black people who love black people, there are a certain group of black people that don't, and they are our biggest enemies. And we need to separate from them and go forward, and then we can do all the wonderful stuff that you're talking about. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. No. So who's the slave? Who's the slave that they made the movie about recently? Read the Bible. And that's the first thing he said. All you motherfuckers that ain't willing to die.
I understand all that. You know,
that's what he said.
But then it's like, okay, well, how do we leave them back?
Well, let me shout out.
You can't leave them back.
We can separate ourselves.
They still gonna be there with them.
Stay on the plantation. Stay there. Malcolm told us about the house thing in the field.
But again,
let me shout out to Master of Blackjack. He said Elijah Cummings, and this is YouTube top chat.
I love, by the way.
He says Elijah Cummings has spent the last 2 years trying to get Trump's tax returns and trying to get at Trump's people. He said, how's that helped his constituency in predominantly black Baltimore? Well, let me tell you something about that. First of all, when you talk about predominantly black, it indicates dysfunction to me, because we know if you live behind enemy lines, they're not going to allow you to assemble yourself accordingly. So with black Baltimore, predominantly black Baltimore, historically, which is always carried that weight. But you look at the heroin epidemic, you look at redlining, you look at gentrification, you look at the crack era, you look at the systematic ways the black people there are crippled by this system. So he's wasting his time. And I would tell Elijah Cummings, once again, the people don't understand civics. You're chasing his tax returns. Fuck his tax return. Okay? Make sure that you're procuring enough tax revenue to give back to black community.
Hello,
somebody. And his focus is not there because we as voters are not informed enough to tell him that. Somebody has to articulate that to him. It has to be a consistent message within our community. Just like here in Milwaukee, these do-nothing aldermen, and I won't call anybody out because that's just not what I do.
All of you that are in office,
I mean,
all
I
of
don't
you,
want to say nobody's
all
name.
the incumbents.
And I've said for a long time, we refuse to vote for
incumbents.
Come on,
man. Y'all suck, and you gave yourself a raise.
But when they come to me for my vote, I understand the precious nature of my vote. So I can ask any one of them, to a man or a woman, if you can outline to me what you brought to the community in terms of people of color, economically, education-wise, civically, any kinds of information. The duty of the civilized man is to teach the uncivilized. If you can illustrate any of those points, you got my vote. And then I tell him, don't worry, I'll wait.
Crickets,
he won't be able to say
not at all.
And you know,
he'll give you some long ass answer.
I feel similar. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna vote for nobody if I ain't feeling it. If I ain't feeling her or him or her or whatever, however it is, the two people I'm voting for, I ain't voting.
And he says
I'd have been to the booth.
He says it's a trap to hate Trump. You guys are too smart to fall for.
No, I agree. They're using Trump. I totally agree that they're using him and putting him up front to be the one that's hated while they're doing a whole bunch of bullshit behind the scenes. I concur.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. See, I don't hate Trump on like a specific. I hate Trump because he's such a racist guy.
How about we hate his followers?
Well, I hate his ideology. I hate
what he stands for.
I hate his symbolism to cowardly white America. Because I'm gonna tell you something. If you are old octogenarian, you're 67 years old, I don't give a fuck what war you fought in. If I'm with my wife, my girl, my daughter, my cousin, my sister, and you hit her, I'm knocking your old ass out. But Trump has created some liquid courage for white America. It's the Obama effect, right? They were so mad that it was a nigga in the White House that it had to be a hangover, right? They went a long way to prove a point. I don't hate Trump. I don't hate Trump at all. You know what I'm saying? I understand Trump. I understand Trump is a rich white man. He represents the 1%. You're a fool if you're a poor white person and you think Trump like you. You a nigga to him too. Right. Get the fuck out of here. They call you poor white trash.
He uses you as a buffer
park trash.
to stay in between him and the black people.
Get outside.
Yeah, you just a buffer.
Leave that boy alone. Did y'all see the white Iowa government official? Goddamn, I gotta go into the People's News Network to get his name. He was obsessed with Tupac.
Yeah.
Did you see this story?
He sent out the emails and he lost his job.
66 years old. Yes, he's 66 years old. And on all his emails, like he celebrated Pac's birthday, he was sending interesting trivia facts.
All eyes on me.
Right, he was like the greatest white, 66 years old.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Totally obsessed with him.
Lost his
to
job.
The point where they said, you got to go home. They just fired him. You know, and
don't you like the Fresh Prince?
Well, no, he was about Pac. They showed some of his emails where he was telling people, like, y'all got to understand, because Pac said in this song. And the employees, as they said, at first we thought it was cute, but it just got to the point where it just became disruptive.
Yeah, man.
That's why old white dude.
I've seen that shit. Yeah.
Living life.
You know, y'all see that in history too. It's like white people that like black people too much.
Listen, we played the music. We played the music in the Cotton Club. It wasn't allowed in, bro.
Nigga lover you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know
but you understand that Tupac to them, well, let's talk about it like this. To us, Tupac is the definition of the title of the show. Church. You hear the right Pac song, you say, that's real, right?
Yeah, that was real.
That's it.
No.
Right. Like I say, when you say something real, something that's meaningful, you touch.
Every black person got at least one Tupac song where they do this too.
Yeah.
When you see a black person bite his lip and just be quiet and go,
wait. And if he's a little old, he might snap his fingers.
Shit,
young people, young boys will snap their fingers.
Hey.
So when a white dude get that Tupac song, they make him say, shit. But you know it's real.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for all the people who want to tell me and argue with me that, you know, who's the greatest rapper, who's this and this, and they want to talk about hip hop. You have no idea.
They have college courses based on Tupac lyrics, man.
And that conversation ain't going nowhere Clearly Clever. Shout out to Clearly Clever in
What's
my
going on,
YouTube
YouTube is going down.
Yeah, well, you know, I got some big, YouTube creates situations.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Clearly Clever says he would have been an A-list actor as his 2 or 3 movies. First of all, he's the type of artist that only comes around because he was a great actor. If you've ever seen Juice, well, the first time we all seen Juice, we said, "Dog, he did that shit."
Yeah, sure. That's him.
Right.
That's him.
Right. Well, and that created an issue. But then his music got really so. He's a once in a lifetime artist, and I'm not,
But even deeper than that, when you go into who he was and who his mama was, man, like a lot of that shit might have been he's destined.
After 21,
he's destined, right? He was destined to be great in some genre or another, right?
People he was around growing up.
Yeah. So his godfather's Matula Shakur.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And don't think they didn't know.
He had to be somebody powerful.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He was destined.
Well, his name is Tupac Amaru Shakur, who was a South American revolutionary, a jungle, just like a ancient type of revolutionary. The dude's name is not even really Tupac, right? Like that's not his real name. And I'm not gonna say his real name. If you're a real Pac fan and you out there, you know it.
Come on, Snob.
So, no,
come on, Snob.
I know his name.
That's a hella teaser, right?
I know his name.
So tune in on Wednesday.
Right.
He has a real name.
Come back.
Right. He has a real name.
We'll talk about that on a later show.
Government name.
It's got Chuuuch.
No. It's one of those names that you'd be like, that's really his name. Yeah.
Frank.
No.
His name is Leonard.
Right.
We have a no. We had an issue here further with Arab grocers, who I like to define as occupiers and interlopers within our community. We continuously spend our money in the wrong places. Once again, this all turns back into church, because anything about money is church.
It's tithes and offerings. Bring it to the storehouse.
We black people got this thing we say all the time, which is "fuck you, pay me."
10%.
Right?
Pastor say that every week. Fuck you, pay me. God bless. Amen.
Right.
Hallelujah.
Right.
Go to the ATM in the back of the church.
We put an ATM in the church. You niggas can't
for
get
your convenience.
God needs your money.
I like
He's all powerful and owns everything, but he always needs your money.
He said Tupac's God-given name is Tupac, if I'm not mistaken. That's Clearly Clever. You are entirely mistaken. Tupac is not. Even the name Tupac is a revolution. No.
But that's all right.
I love put it out there. I love Clearly Clever, but every now and then you show your white.
Well,
welcome to the show. Yeah, boy, hello. So yeah, man. When we talk about money, like black people tell you in a minute, man. It's one of those things. When a black person do certain things, we don't even have to hear the conversation. We can see it from afar.
Right.
Because when a black man have his hand up here and he bring it all the way down, he's serious. When he go, when you watch it from afar, you see a brother go like this and bring. You say, "Oh shit, they over there arguing."
Wait.
Don't make him do this.
So if you see this,
or if you hear him say, "Oh my mama, oh my, where my damn keys at? They finna tear this motherfucker up, right?" So
that's what's up.
Talk about money. A black person will tell you quick, man. I don't give a fuck about none of that, man. I need my paper.
Right.
I got kids to feed. A black man who got kids to feed is the most dangerous thing.
Man.
He'll fuck with his money. He'll eat shit out of a spoon for 8 hours if there ain't no food at the crib. But short him on that shit, eat money.
Right.
He can tell you, motherfucker, I ain't this shit for nothing. Motherfucker, I got kids to feed.
No matter how
I brought my hand up automatically when I said it.
No matter how much he feed him, he's still labeled as a deadbeat dad, right?
If you let them tell it.
Yeah, because we let them tell it.
If you let them tell
it. Well, they own the magazines, they own the radio stations, they own the internet, they own the movie studios. They telling our story for us, brother.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they killing any nigga that's trying to change
that. Groceries here in Milwaukee, where they beat some kids with a bat already.
So wait,
protests, and then they upped the pistol supposedly on
This is the store.
Faith Groceries over on 25th. I think it's over by Keith.
Now, I don't know everything, you know what I'm saying, but my understanding is that these kids, after that situation happened with the bat, was at another store doing the same shit the next morning.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. So, I mean, supposedly what we're being told is that this dude was almost died and he got hit in the head with a bat and he was having convulsions. But the fact of the matter is my understanding is he was all right because he was back doing some more bullshit at another store the following morning. And again, I love black people. We love black people, but all of y'all ain't us.
Right. Either way it goes, I don't give a fuck if you come in there and steal a whole box of chips.
Okay.
I don't even give a fuck if you steal that old ass bologna that y'all selling.
Yeah, some shit just ain't worth that punishment.
Yeah. And to come in
there,
there,
I think. You know what I mean? I think it is it's not right to be like that, to act like that.
I think we shouldn't steal.
Right. Exactly.
I think we shouldn't steal.
It's both, actually. It goes both ways. Yeah. One, we shouldn't steal. And two, you know what I'm saying? Some punishments just ain't worth.
I agree, but teach your children not to steal.
You know what I mean? Don't fit the crime.
The same way you teaching them to say yes sir and no sir when the police pull them over because this might happen to them. Don't steal.
Well, and you know, my bad, Kevin, but you know, they put cameras in the stores. Right.
And watch.
So why do you feel like you have to be the judge and the jury? Okay, you got the camera, you got them on camera. Call the police.
All these cameras in the stores. How funny we can never get to see no film.
You got insurance.
Funny we don't never get to see any of the footage. Exactly. You tell us about it. We hear about it. Let's show it to us. If it's what you say it is, let us see it.
Right.
I think when it comes down to kids, there's so many different variables because yes, we understand. You tell your kids don't steal, right? But peer pressures are totally. Listen, my parents gave me the most thorough conversations about not stealing growing up. Have I ever gone in a store with a bunch of my boys and somebody talked me into tucking some chips? Fuck yeah, I did. Right. Didn't need to do it at all. Had 2 freezers in our house.
Right.
There's no simple reason.
It's just shit.
It was just me being a dumbass little boy. And had I got caught with them Cheetos, did it justify somebody taking a bat to my head? No, it didn't. But now, if there's a continuous, consistent type of behavior on these children's part, yes, they need to be checked. No doubt. And they will be. They will. And they already have been. You got hit with a bat. But I'm saying, yeah, that might be true. Yeah, the kids might be on some bullshit, right? But I still think we have to have people in our community who come here to do business that need to understand I'm going to let justice be justice. I'm not the judge, jury, and the executioner. It only takes one time for me to hit one of these kids in the head. Latasha Harlins, who famously was murdered over by some Koreans in Los Angeles in the early 90s.
I remember that.
Allegedly, and supposedly she wasn't even doing that.
Right.
But even if she had a whole 2 liter of juice, does it justify you killing her?
Right.
No.
Shooting her in the head?
No.
It does not.
Now, wait. Let me stop with that.
Like I said, wait.
because we getting ahead. Because what my understanding is, and first of all, I don't know everything. If you have more information than what I'm saying, and you chime in, and you can correct me, then correct me. But what I'm being told is that these kids was not only stealing, they were fighting one of the employees. They were jumping. It was more than one, and they was jumping on one of the employees, and the dude came from the back to help his people, which you would have done, and I would have done, and you would have done. Again, if I'm incorrect, somebody correct me.
I'd like to see the tape. I ain't said that they didn't do that, but then I also would ask, maybe.
First of all, I've seen the tape. First of all, I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? And what we're being told happened didn't happen. That's not what I saw.
Okay. Either way it goes, I think my whole point.
And I don't mean to be argumentative.
The devil's in the details.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. My point is, for a long time, even leave kids out of it.
Yes,
overpricing, spoiled, expired goods,
rat droppings,
a lack of regard for our community as a whole.
No healthy food.
In which you come into my community and make a mint, and you live in the wild counties, and you send your kids to colleges and this kind of thing, but you don't even take or make the effort to communicate. I don't know who people think. Who people think the purveyors of this K2 and the legal lien, all this shit that you go in most stores, and in particular in 53206, in which I've done a lot of extensive research on with a group that I was working with one time. You want to sell an anti-drug message, but every store in that district you go in there, you got a million fucking flavors of blunts and wrappers.
You sell,
off top, you're greeted with it. It's the biggest thing behind that thick ass glass.
Right.
And the kids will stand there and say, "Oh, gee, can you?" And I told one time I would, but I'm an undercover cop. Them son of bitches took off. I said, "Man, I'm an undercover cop. I can't." Right. And he said, "What? You ain't shit, right?" So, but this message is nailed into, and they put the advertisements up. You got rappers, you got celebrities who, these my blunts. This is my business. This is what I do.
Oh, they got their faces on chips and shit now, right?
Right. No doubt.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, yeah, our kids are all over the place. No doubt, of course.
True.
But I also grew up during the crack epidemic, in which we were all over the place.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did we deserve to be shot down in the streets like animals? Because if we had been, there'd be no Outlaw Radio.
No.
There would not be the parents of Kevin and Taylor right now, the father that I've become, because I got killed over some Doritos. So I think we have to draw a line in the sand and say, stop justifying shit because our kids are bad. We know that.
They won't have to justify shit if you don't like it. Get out of our neighborhoods. Just like you have a president that's telling us if we don't like this country, leave it. If you feel unsafe and bothered in our neighborhoods, go sell.
Go back where you came from.
Go in your folks sell chips and shit and blunts in your motherfucking community where you live.
And we should tell the Arabs that. Nobody says that to the Arabs.
That's what I'm saying.
If you don't like it, go back where you came from.
If you gotta be behind bulletproof glass, go somewhere else.
I think if we can all collectively stay away from those stores, stop buying out those stores, stop spending our money. You know what I'm saying? Couple months, they'll leave on their own.
We don't spend our money.
You know what I mean?
Black people who ain't us.
I think, you know, looking back at the Sherman uprising, you know what I'm saying? Like the little boycotting that was done at that gas station. You know, it made them drop their gas down to 99 cents a gallon. Because the next stop, they was going down, they was going to go close. That was the next stop.
But now it's a brand new.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm saying, and just on that,
But now it's brand new. It's better than it was.
Exactly. I could dig it. But, you know, but my point is this, right? That just shows by a little boycotting, a little bit of work that we
little bit of unity.
That was just a little bit.
Just a little.
You know what I mean? They damn near went out of business.
We
you dig what I'm saying? And just stores like that. Okay, we get disrespected. We should have enough love for each other to not want to fuck with them no more. Like, my God, okay, me and you, we in the streets, we hang out.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
If this motherfucker disrespect you, I got a problem with him too. That's how we should collectively feel in the community about these stores. You know what I'm saying?
That's unity,
we should collectively feel like that about these stores. Unity. These people ain't our people. And these motherfuckers in here disrespecting our women, you know, disrespecting our kids, stealing from us, overcharging us. We already dealing with poverty like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And they taking advantage of this.
And don't reinvest none of it in your hood.
I think it would help if we could collectively just be upset. But you know, but then dig this, right? Also understand that if you don't love yourself like you should, you ain't gonna love the people who close to you. Like a nigga that don't love himself gonna hate the shit out of a nigga that love himself.
And that's why we love black people who love black people.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Because you're not hating yourself.
We have to eventually somehow come to some same accord, and you know what I mean? Like, we can squeeze these businesses out when they disrespect us. Bam, we already know not to fuck with them.
Don't shop there.
Exactly.
But if you go
we already know not to fuck with them because they did this.
But if you go to Baltimore, if you go to Pittsburgh, if you go to some of these other cities, they do that. We just don't do it here.
Yeah, it's coming.
It is Saturday night, right? Y'all going out? Type shit. Where you going, right? Like,
we're going to talk about pelicans
next. Don't get heavy.
Spoons.
Don't get heavy on me, baby. It's Outlaw Radio, man. It's church. What you hold
church.
What you thought with a title like church? What you thought it was going to be?
Right. I got my boy Kamar Carter. I got my boy
Teach,
Listen, Learn. Yes, sir. Brother Jay, what you say? It's your boy, the world class smartass, mouthpiece of the movement, the militant with a microphone, aka the Negro Whisperer. Trying to do what I do on Saturday night and send y'all off in style. If you're tuning in, I want to know, did you do the old app? Did you change yourself? Did you want to see how you're gonna look when you're old? I didn't do that because I don't participate in certain shit.
I don't want my picture going somewhere. I don't know where it's going. It turns out that
this is supposed to be a Russian-owned app that you have to give permission to your personal photographs.
So, all the apps, damn near you gotta get.
I'll see what I look like when I'm old when I get old.
Okay, did you do
no, I don't do that. That's like, you know, that's like how I hate that Snapchat. You know, like they put the filters. The girls put all the filters.
Everybody's beautiful in the
just let me see
you. 20 years old, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I want to see you. When I look at your picture.
We want to see the stretch marks and everything, right?
What's the purpose of putting a picture up if it ain't you?
Well, because when we see you in the store, we're like, damn.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But the purpose is so people could see you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's peel the layers back, man. You know what I mean? Let's peel the layers back.
That's
Fuck
real.
all that shit.
That's real.
$15 an hour.
We want to see that gunshot wound you got. Quit covering it up.
Yeah, I like a little gunshot.
Hey, man, y'all hear about Eddie Murphy? Netflix
70. Ain't it worth it though?
For 3 shows?
How long
3
it's been?
stand-up?
Like, come on, man.
That's a lot
You
of
know
money,
what?
man.
And he still hold records
For a little
You
time.
know what's crazy?
That ain't even that ain't even 3 hours. They give them 3 shows. That ain't even 3 hours.
I realized that a lot of people, millennials in particular, who are alive right now, were not even born the last time he did a comedy special.
Man,
so we talk about Raw being in 1987.
Yeah.
And a lot of these cats
that was 87.
So, yeah.
Fuck.
So,
so what I'm saying?
So a lot of people have not witnessed the comic genius of Eddie Murphy.
That is Eddie Murphy.
He's become sort of a recluse. Like Ed's married to the white girl now. Like Ed got like 10 kids.
He got caught with the transvestite.
He got caught with the tranny.
Damn near all of his movies is classic.
Damn near all of them. There's a couple that missed him out,
and he doesn't get credit.
He's got more than it. Groundbreaking in the fact that even if you
Life
look
in
at
Harlem Nights.
No, but you got to look at Boomerang.
Brought them 3 generations
you have to look at Boomerang.
You got to look at Coming to America, which had 1 white person in the movie.
Boomerang.
So when you talk about an all-black cast,
he played like 50
come on, man.
Himself.
But Boomerang changed the game cinematically, and I've heard him speak about this because
and he got a lot of flack for it.
For the first time, if you look at Boomerang, there's no white people in Boomerang.
That's what I'm saying.
I never noticed.
No, and they're all professionals.
And they're professional.
College educated.
Absolutely.
Except for the one cat's parents, but they had made the sacrifice. David Allen Greer's character, they had made the sacrifice to make sure he went to private school. It was a black-owned pharmaceutical company. Everybody was black. And
he gets no credit for
there had never been a movie made like that. On top of that, on top of that, which became a box office smash.
Yeah.
So Eddie Murphy changed that game with that. And there was a lot of backlash from Hollywood towards Ed because of that.
It was.
And I think black people didn't support Ed enough in that regard. Like, we went to see the movie.
I don't think Ed ever asked for our support.
Well, I guess I was young.
He never.
But, I mean, I don't think I knew that.
No, I
don't think many people knew that.
I peeped that.
Well, no, I loved, Boomerang when I was young, especially because it came out when I was in high school.
Right. And with Dan Robin Givens in it too, didn't
yeah,
she was a looker back then, right?
Eartha Kitt,
right.
A lot of classic.
Where's Strange? What was Grace Jones? Man, right.
Jeffrey Holder.
Listen, Eddie, come on, man. Eddie didn't get his props.
But then you transition from that while we're talking about Eddie to something else that was done that needs to be done today, but nobody has the real balls to do it. Eddie Murphy does Harlem Nights with Richard Pryor, Red Fox himself,
generations together.
All the comedians back
Charlie Murphy,
right.
Robin Harris, so many classic actors, Della Reese. And this one actually has white people in it, but black people win in the end.
But there was the
even in the 20s.
Yeah.
When they said niggas couldn't make it.
Right.
So Ed had a unique perspective in which cinematically he laid down he broke through a lot of glass ceilings, and then he just kind of went to seclusion. Now, Life is one of the funniest movies you will ever see.
Him and Martin.
Norbit.
Come on.
Fucking hilarious.
It really was.
That was funny.
A lot of people slept on Norbit. Like, come on, Ed, stop. Ed is going down. Ed is going down in history.
Hey, look, my bag. It's funny you mentioned Eartha Kitt, right? Because I wrote some stuff down. Like, I love testimony. Yes, I love when people, you know what I mean, they take their life, that shit, and turn it into sugar. You know what I'm saying? But dig this, right? She was conceived by rape.
Yes, sir.
Born on a plantation. Spoke 5 languages. Sang in 7 and recorded the hit song Santa Baby. Ladies and gentlemen, Eartha Kitt. And I'm just saying that
fine.
I just happened to write that down today.
That was fine.
And he mentioned that. Yeah, and she was fine.
I mean, look at the picture, man. She was beautiful.
Yeah,
but there's always a but.
No, I
wrote that one down.
What you finna say? But I
want people to see. I want people to understand that, you know what I mean. No matter where you come from, no matter who you are, you can always grow.
But you
never
like Sicily.
Too old to improve.
Jesse told him that you can be tall, but listen.
And Farrakhan came behind and was like, "No, you can't."
Goddamn lie.
Eartha represents a generation of black celebrities who crossed the line. At the height of
Harry Belafonte.
At the height of her popularity, guess who she married?
Who was that?
He wasn't a brother. He's a white man. She has a farm. She's playing Batgirl. I mean, Catwoman on Batman.
Yeah, I remember that.
Eartha gets in trouble because she critiques the Vietnam War and poverty and disrespects Lady Bird Johnson. And she can't get another acting job, so she hits it and goes to Europe.
Overseas.
Right? So you look at Sidney Poitier. You look at Quincy Jones. You know, you look at a lot of our classic actors. Ossie Davis is one of the only ones who even back then had a sister on his arm and was like, it is what it is.
Until his last day.
Right. So these are Negroes who were able to cross the threshold and they didn't really say, okay, well, look at Sammy. And Sammy goes and what? But it's a progression. So I hear what you said. And Eartha overcame incredible odds and obstacles.
And you know what I mean? I ain't go that far into her life.
I know. I'm sorry.
I don't think she was that old where I finished.
But you know what I mean.
I just remember she said,
"Okay."
And then
I don't have any panties.
And she was 70 then, right?
Right.
You see when he tried to cut the lights off, or he clapped in the lights, whatever he said, can you get in the dark? Boomerang, one of my favorite movies.
No, you gotta beat that shit. And he didn't get his prop. So wait,
I don't watch the movie.
We talking about.
I'm not trying to shoot down you.
It's all good.
No, but wait. So
y'all said y'all like black people.
So what's the brother that's on Wild 'N Out?
Which one?
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. So Nick Cannon came out when you know and said he was going to take out. So now Nick Cannon is backing out. He's saying getting too many death threats. Right. All right. What can we see? We want to talk about us and the people and what we can do and what we can't. We can't come together as a people and protect this brother. The FOI.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Muslims. Somebody listen. Somebody should come and protect this brother. If they trying that hard to keep this Sebi movie from being made, it needs to be made.
I don't want to see it, Sebi.
Right.
Then don't go see it.
I won't. You ain't saying nothing but a word.
But the movie should still be made.
I'm gonna tell you. I personally think it'll be a good movie.
It's a reason they don't want it made.
You know, but there's
why is he getting death threats?
It's not gonna just.
Why did they kill Nipsey?
It's not gonna just be about healing.
There's a lot of.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of black movies.
Sebi lived a hell of a life.
We're not talking about
a lot of black movies that should be made before Sebi.
No, here's the thing.
Really, it's a documentary.
That's what I'm saying. And you're talking about Left Eye who tried to do it. Left Eye is gone. You're talking about Nipsey who tried to do it. Nipsey is gone. You're talking about my guy who's trying to do it now. He getting too many death threats. When they put that much effort against something, there's something to it. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But I'm saying, as a people, if we have any power at all, any unity at all,
we need to start
where we at? Let's protect these people, man. Protect this brother.
Yeah, we need to start protecting.
Hey, whether you want to see the movie or not, I think you still agree with that.
Not really.
Well, too bad.
That's fine. Take that.
But it's like
I've been kicked out of better places.
And like you say, how you know what I mean, they got the FOI and all that. You know what I'm saying? Really like, and I'm one to believe like this, because see, I done talked to a lot of different types of brothers, in a lot of these different organizations.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And what I come to find out is, if you don't have the same faith as them, they're not 100% with you.
Right, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
If you don't agree with me,
now,
exactly.
Now,
you know what I mean?
Now,
and that's what I've been seeing.
Can I tell both of y'all this though? That's because I believe in progressions. If we're gonna talk about Sebi and get a movie about him, let's get a movie about Elijah Muhammad first, who wrote How to Eat, right? Like, there's no definitive movie about Fard Muhammad.
Well, and check this out.
Where's the Marcus Garvey movie?
Exactly.
We
need to do all
where's the W.E.B. Du Bois? Where's the first Tupac? I'm sorry, a documentary you want to do? The first Tupac and Biggie was W.E.B. Du Bois and what's your man name? Started
Garvey.
No,
what are you talking about?
W.E.B. Du Bois, the Atlanta Compromise, my man, Frederick Douglass. So this is the first real, because people don't know about the Atlanta Compromise. They don't know about W.E.B. Du Bois saying no, black people should be allowed to be intellectual, versus him saying no, let's just be tradesmen and deal with racism.
That's what them using niggas against niggas. I've talked about that earlier.
So I'm not shooting down Sebi people watching like, well, why you got bull on the show with herbs? I'm just saying my opinion is that there are more pertinent messages about black. Like, they're making a movie now about Mansa Musa, who is the richest individual who ever lived as a black man.
He was African.
Right.
Right. But here, my thing is this. Why does it have to be either or? Nobody says you can make an Avengers movie or an X-Men movie.
They do. The studio.
You said no, they don't.
They say
no, they don't because what happened is they made both.
They say they made them.
Listen, so that doesn't have to be an either or. There doesn't have to be why we need to make a Marcus Garvey movie. So why are we making a Sebi movie? Let's make both.
I didn't say what I said.
No, I'm not saying what you said. Yes, no,
right.
yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the movie that need to be made, whether or not it's your flavor or not. You like strawberries.
I ain't putting in no Nick Cannon security.
I think it's very practical.
I don't think you could.
I think it's very practical to make a movie like that right now. I think it's very practical to make a movie like that.
That's what I'm saying. And it already was started.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's about awareness right now. We talking about getting ourselves better, healing ourselves, doing better. So you know what I'm saying? Like a movie like that, it brings more awareness.
And that's why they're killing the niggas that's trying to make it.
See, it's not.
Elijah Muhammad
Hey, listen,
do the same thing.
listen, that too. It will.
It don't have to be.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that.
That's what
but
I'm
my
saying.
thing is, the movie ain't about Sebi. It's about health.
It's about what he's teaching.
This is what he taught.
It's about the mucus.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason he in.
It's the information. Yeah.
And see, these people, they probably killing them thinking that they finna give the cures to everything in the movie, but I don't think it's gonna be all that. They just it's just about bringing awareness.
It's a premise though. He don't have to give a cure. He can give a premise.
And then you look at how many people are watching.
Same dude who tried to find Carlos Miller.
And it's gonna make a lot more people watch.
All he got to do is tell you about the alkaline and tell you about the mucus. That's a premise. You don't have to get into detail about that. Once you start understanding that, you can make your own conclusions.
Now you can
right?
figure it out.
See what I'm saying?
It's just about the awareness.
Yes, sir. So we here talking about it on Outlaw Radio, but what they don't want is being talked about on Warner Brothers Studio or Sony. You see what I'm saying? On a magnitude like that. So I don't have nothing against all these other movies being made, but this is a movie they started to make.
Well, guess what?
They tried to make, and their brother died.
Guess what time?
Don't say it.
It's 9:15. So
we started late.
No, yeah, but it was 8 o'clock at least. Almost 8, so you're still over an hour.
Look,
which I only give people.
See what happened when you start talking about Sebi?
I stopped giving up my goods like that.
Always trying to kill the Sebi.
Right.
I'm about to shoot Nick Cannon.
What's going on, Zels?
We will be back on this week.
Right. Yeah, I forgot Zels don't like Sebi. I forgot.
It's Outlaw Radio.
What's going on, Zels?
Oh, that's why you cutting this off, kid.
I hope y'all had a good time.
I get it.
But you said Bobby Brown is Dumac, right?
Who did? What the
Shout out to the homies.
Oh, okay.
That's my man right there.
Hey,
I got a lot of love.
I have a ball here, man.
I want y'all to understand. Pay attention to what's going on around you, please. You can have opinions vary, right? Like it doesn't even matter. You can agree, you don't have to agree. You can disagree. You can always comment on the shows, whatever.
Can I throw something in right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
You asked me about Beyond Burgers yesterday.
Yes, sir.
On the show, right?
Yes, sir.
I think Beyond Burgers are they're a better grade of the burgers that you will buy in the store.
I messed up.
There ain't no soy, there ain't no gluten, no GMO. The company, it was founded, it had the producers out of Los Angeles since 2009. They got chicken now. They got it's coming. You know, they got pork sausages.
Let me tell you what they calling it, and I wanted to ask you about this, how it's in relation to the Impossible meat. You heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that the same as what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, it's the same thing. It's basically the same.
Because I've had it a little bit, right? And so here's the thing: it tastes good. It tastes just like meat, to be honest with you. But my concern with it now is it a GMO? Is it genetically modified?
No, it's not. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Clearly Clever says you need to get a guy on the left his own couple-hour show.
Which left?
Right, which left?
Well, he can't be talking about you.
Really, Kevin Jones was on the left-hand side. Like,
from his perspective.
Well, both, listen, and they both got their own show. It's come on Wednesdays. It's called The Warrior Report.
On YouTube, Kevin on the left. On Facebook, I'm on the left.
I'm actually on the right. You're on the left on YouTube.
Either way, I'm in the middle. The Warrior Report, both of them is on.
He's talking about you.
Hey, it's all perspective.
Let's clear it up like that. Because I already got a couple hours.
Yes, it's called Outlaw Radio, right?
Sounds clearly Clever. He don't like compliments.
Oh yeah, thank you.
No,
but I do have another podcast.
He does.
You have to add me on Facebook to catch it.
What's the name of it?
It's called Talk That Talk. I go live on Facebook. It's a recorded show, actually. I do it from WNOV, from the studio at WNOV.
That's what's up.
Every first and third Monday at 5:30. So if you add me on Facebook,
Right.
I was right?
Yeah, that's not what I'm like.
Every first and third Monday. So if you add me on Facebook, you know what I'm saying, you'll be able to catch it.
Look, man, all this will be, just give us some time. I don't ask for much. Just give me some time.
We're doing our thing.
We'll improve our presentation.
Oh, yeah, we gonna get it, y'all.
Everything. I want y'all to understand that this is a show that's done out of, love. It's a labor of love, but it's damn sure labor. It's not easy to do, and I welcome you to bring your own platform to the table and say I could do that, and I'll watch your shit and support it. But I'll also be laughing at your ass when you get on this microphone. What the fuck you doing? I just want to get that out of my system.
It does happen.
So for people who we do here, or maybe you think you could do your own show, have at it, man. I support everybody who has a platform.
Real talk.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Please let me know if you have something you want to
promote. Have us on your show.
Yeah, well, or maybe not. I might not come.
I would. I'll come.
I'm a recluse. I'm like Ed in his prime.
I'm gonna take it case by case basis.
Easy. They all see. Right. Everybody.
Could be yes. Could be no.
It's gonna be a whole new network.
Holla at me.
The New People's Network, right?
Just know if you have me on your show, you're gonna get me.
Right. And you're gonna get some
You might not like it. Or you might not want to hear. I deal with the truth, and the truth hurts.
Amen.
So you got one last thing you want to throw, Brother Kamar threw his in. No, you.
Oh, me?
Yeah, he threw his in. I'm gonna give everybody equal.
Oh man, listen. I thought it was a great title, a great show. I thought we were gonna be on like the Bible side of church a little bit, but man, no.
Well, shout out to DeAndre Love. He'll come in and we're gonna do that, but he has some family things to deal with tonight. He's actually long past. Prior to you all coming on, he was somebody who I would always go to as kind of like my spiritual advisor in terms of what we were going through as a people connected to, scripture and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
So shout out to DeAndre Love. He's a great guy, fellow general, of course. And he'll be on, man. He's still gonna come on. Shout out to Jiggy.
Looking forward to that, man. Looking forward to it. No, that was it. So I was looking forward to that, man. And in the coming weeks, and I'll be joining you guys on Wednesday too, man. So I'm looking forward to that. But I don't know. Take us out, man. Take us home. You.
Oh, me?
You said that damn brownie is kicking in.
All right.
I have a very simple message for people on the show tonight. Since I won't speak with you until Wednesday, I want you to understand that you can be one of two people in the world. You can be somebody who makes excuses about not getting things done, and you can be the type of person that just gets things done. And if you ever get caught up and you get to struggling and you don't understand why things the way they are and you want to blame other people, and you start talking about, if I had this, I'd do better. If I had that, I'd do better. You have to understand what you got. If my auntie had balls, she'd have been my uncle. I'll see y'all Wednesday night.
Peace.
Peace.